Day 5 of testimony in the Diddy trial has just wrapped up, and things are escalating quickly. Homeland Security dropped a bombshell, revealing that some of Hollywood's biggest names have ties to Diddy. Names like Kanye West, Michael B. Jordan, Ashton Kutcher, and even Steve Harvey. These revelations are making it clear that Diddy's alleged crimes weren't exactly a secret in the industry. And now, Justin Bieber has also broken his silence, finally responding to the allegations and disclosing his connection to Diddy. The situation is unraveling fast, so let's get into what's going on. Here's what we know so far. As jury selection kicked off on May 5th in New York for Diddy's federal sex trafficking trial, NBC News reported that prospective jurors were presented with a list of over 100 names. These included not only Diddy's known associates, but also A-list celebrities like Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and Kanye West. Now, to be clear, none of these celebrities are currently being accused of any wrongdoing. The list was simply presented to jurors to identify if they recognized any names, which could potentially impact their impartiality. However, the fact that these names were on the list in the first place raises eyebrows. Why were they mentioned at all? And what does it say about their proximity to Diddy? Attorneys haven't offered any clear explanation for the list, but it also includes women who've previously taken legal action against Diddy, like his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, whose explosive sexual abuse lawsuit was settled just one day after being filed back in November 2023. Danity Kane's Dawn Richard, who also accused Diddy of sexual assault in a September lawsuit, is listed too. For the record, Diddy has denied any and all allegations in both cases. What's even more intriguing is how many of these celebrities are now backing away from the spotlight. Ashton Kutcher, for example, quietly stepped back from Hollywood years ago, and some believe he saw the storm coming. His ties to Diddy may have even contributed to the end of his relationship with Demi Moore. Ashton seems to know that when Diddy falls, anyone who was complicit might fall with him. And while he hasn't spoken publicly, his silence speaks volumes. Others are distancing themselves more openly. Will Smith, Justin Bieber, and even Bishop T.D. Jakes have all taken noticeable steps to publicly separate themselves from Diddy. With each passing day, it's becoming more and more evident that the ripple effects of this trial could reach far beyond.
And whenever these trials come about, the closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution. And I feel like we're watching that take place now with one of the male sex worker guys who provided tapes to the feds. He's disappeared. And this is similar to what happened in the Tory Lanez case, where the bodyguard whose DNA was on the weapon, he disappeared. So I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs, and we've been watching that take place.
From what you know about him, Sean Combs, obviously the perception of him has changed dramatically since these allegations were made and since he got charged. I mean, from everything we're seeing now, he seems a very unpleasant, nasty, violent piece of work. Is that a correct assessment?
The assessment is going to be correct. So what I've learned is whenever you see a gentleman like this from affluence and power, whenever they have an addiction to MDMA or the drug ecstasy, they call it the love drug. So he's been doing this drug for over 20 years. So that's going to leave his view skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual deviant.
Hollywood is a dark and dangerous place. According to Terrence Howard, the lifestyle is toxic, and people are often pressured into doing things against their will. Many of those caught up in it were likely victims themselves at some point. Fact, back in 2019, Demi Moore revealed that when she was just a child, her mother allowed men to sleep with her in exchange for $500.
Now to Demi Moore, she revealed in her memoir that she was sexually assaulted at the age of 15, writing that her mother let the abuser in their home. Well, today, Demi talked to Howard Stern more about this on his Sirius XM radio show.
But you say you pushed it away. You don't need. You just
I
recently.
pushed it away because I felt like it was my fault. Like I felt like I had behaved in a way that was
Provocative?
and mature, like I really knew a lot. And I never really looked at myself as being a kid. And so I never looked at it as rape. I mean, I saw it as an unfortunate and, you know,
Yet he forced you into it.
I was very embarrassed by it. In all honesty, I think that the shame I carried because of the rape made me afraid to feel I could comfortably express myself sexually.
It makes me just remember the conversation that I had with her where she talked about the purpose of her writing this book was to share her story in hopes that it would empower other young women. She did talk about a lot of the other things to Howard Stern. She said she auditioned for Top Gun, obviously didn't get the part, but would later work with Tom Cruise as a co-star in A Few Good Men.
Yes.
One of my
One of my
favorites.
favorites.
If you love that video, you're gonna love everything on the Access YouTube channel, so hit the subscribe button. You can thank me later. Hit it. Now. Thanks.
What happened to Demi Moore is disturbing in itself, but what's even more shocking is that she later became close friends with Diddy and was frequently seen at his infamous parties. At the time, Demi was married to Ashton Kutcher, who wasn't just another guest. He was Diddy's right-hand man during the early 2000s and a constant presence at every one of Diddy's iconic white parties.
Do you believe she sold you?
I think in my deep heart, no. I don't think it was a straightforward transaction, but she still did give him the access and put me in harm's way.
Considering Demi Moore's own childhood abuse, it's shocking to see her later associate with someone like Diddy and allegedly participate in abuse herself. A resurfaced video from 1982 has recently stirred controversy. The footage shows Demi, seemingly intoxicated, kissing 14-year-old Philip Tanzini. This happened in the early 80s, and at the time, Demi was married to Fred Moore.
A freak? I would say he's definitely a freak.
I heard some wild stories. I heard he had like...
We all heard that.
Yeah, you know
but then, come on, I want to hear what you heard.
I mean, I heard that he had this dude, Ashton Kutcher, bent up for him.
Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. Him and Ashton Kutcher was really tight. We used to go to his crib. He had a penthouse on 74th and 8th Avenue in Central Park.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out and watch football together.
When Danny Masterson was convicted of rape in 2023, Ashton Kutcher publicly supported him by writing a letter to the judge, personally vouching for Danny's character.
Okay, one more time.
Why do you think you had to come out?
I don't know. Maybe just because I love them all and I hope they all love me.
We do love him.
And I love them.
If you think it's for the publicity, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely, because he's one of my most favorite people.
Have you been working on the show?
Almost a month and a half.
What's your role?
I'm Luke's new love.
And I'm Philip Tanzini and I play Jeremy and you're stealing my part. I'm
We're
sorry.
moving on to interview number 2 here.
Oh, okay.
Because I love Philip and he's the only one I love.
Do your interview already.
All right. I'm Luke's new love but personally I love Philip. And that's it.
Okay?
We got a new storyline cooking up pretty soon. Here, have a bite.
I want to say happy birthday to Philip because I love him dearly. He's one of my most favorite people.
How long have you been out here?
For about 3 weeks. And he's been terrific.
All of these celebrities get roped into doing things they don't want to do. This entire industry is filled with predators, and they all work together to cover up each other's crimes. Couch casting is still very much alive in the industry, and Diddy is a very small cog in a very big machine. The day you let someone use you sexually in return for favors in the industry is the day that you lose yourself. You need to stand by your boundaries and respect yourself. You don't recover from giving yourself up like that.